This is Andi Purewal for ID Boxing. We are here in Las Vegas and I'm joined by Matchroom's Frank Smith. Frank, firstly, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm good. It's obviously always a pleasure to be out here in Las Vegas covering a show. Massive one, Canelo-Golovkin 3. This trilogy bout's been one which has been spoken about for a while now. I've asked Eddie this, I asked Tom Loeffler this, I'll ask you this. From your understanding, from your time around Canelo, how personal do you feel this is for him?
I think you only have to look at the press conferences, the face-offs, everything that we've seen to see how much sort of, not dislike, I don't know if it's dislike, but how much history there is between these two guys. And they've been waiting for this fight for a long, long time, and it's finally here. And I can't wait for it. You only have to see as well the people here now. Bivol, Canelo obviously coming off the back of the Bivol loss, Golovkin coming off the back of his win against mine's gone blank, Murata in Japan. So it's been an interesting build-up to get to this point. Long time coming, but we're finally here.
Canelo said he wants to end the career of Gennady Golovkin. Just get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, look, I mean, a lot of people saying, obviously Gennady's never been stopped, and there's a lot of factors that are going to play into this. How's that £8 going to make a difference for Golovkin coming up from 160? You see him at a lot of weigh-ins at 160. As he's getting older, it's obviously tougher to make that weight. So, you think that extra £8 is going to make a big difference for him. He's a big puncher already. He's got a great chin. Canelo coming back from 175 after the Bivol fight. There's a lot of things that play into it, and I think we're going to be in for a great fight.
How much of an advantage, if at all, do you feel Canelo will gain from the gap in between the second fight to the third fight? Obviously, in that time, Gennady Golovkin's aged, as is Canelo, but Gennady on the side of 40 now.
Yeah, look, ultimately, Gennady's still a tremendous athlete. You only have to look at him and look at, his camp. Canelo's had a lot of tough fights as well in between. So, it's going to be interesting. Everyone's talking about the age, but there's a lot of, as I say, factors that play into how this fight's going to go. Some people writing off Gennady Golovkin. Other people, a lot of boxing fans after the Bivol loss saying that actually Golovkin's got more of a chance. So let's see.
Eddie said earlier he expected it to be a fight here. Doesn't expect it to go the full 12 rounds. Do you echo that call?
I think it will go 12 rounds. Yeah.
So you think it's going to go to points on that note? A dominant or a tight decision?
I don't score fights, do I? So I'm going to say it's just going to be a great fight.
You may not score fights, but it's obviously been a talking point. The first two fights, some people felt that Gennady had done enough to at least win one of those. Is there anything kind of where you've had discussions with the Las Vegas Commission about past scoring or what have you?
Look, both the teams have worked through with the Commission, the officials for the fight. They're both happy with the officials selected. So I think, it will get fair scoring come Saturday night.
Canelo, in the build-up to this fight, he's actually said still that he'd love to challenge Alexander Usyk at some form of a catchweight if it could be agreed. Do you think he's overlooking Gennady?
No, I think he's always looking ahead at what could be next. He's also looking at the Dimitri Bivol rematch as well at 175. So I don't think he's overlooking. I think as much as, look, I can't talk for them, but as much as there is probably dislike between the two of them, I'm sure there is respect as well for the 24 rounds that they've been through together. So, I think that plays into it as well.
Moving away from that, you're one man who will know more than anyone what's happening in the UK between Chris Eubank Jr and Conor Benn, and that fight, obviously Senior has come out saying that he's pulled Jr from it. Just to get your understanding of where things currently stand.
Now look, I actually landed 11 hours of no Wi-Fi on a plane yesterday, and I got here and my phone was just like messages falling through of, is this fight off, is this fight off, and I was slightly concerned for a minute, but ultimately, look, Chris Eubank Jr is taking the fight. He's going ahead with the fight as planned. He signed the contract for the fight. Chris Eubank Sr will have as we've seen, has his opinion on the fight, but ultimately the deal's with Chris Eubank Jr. So the fight goes ahead as planned. Nothing changes, and all good.
For somebody who obviously knows the Eubank family well, what do you think Senior's tried to gain from this? Is he just trying to maybe look to renegotiate the rehydration clause, maybe get rid of it at all, one of the other weight clauses? What do you feel he's tried to gain from it for his son?
Well, look, there's a deal there already. The deal is there, it's signed, it's agreed by all parties. Chris has weighed in multiple times with the British Boxing Board of Control. Everyone's happy with the way things are going. Plans to make 157 fine. From I spoke to Callis Howland earlier as well. I think it's not really a renegotiation because we've got a contract, and the terms of if it's missed are in there. It's already covered off. So it's not a case of now going, actually let's do it at 160, all good. That's not the way it works. But as I say, that's Eubank Sr.'s opinion on the fight, but Chris Eubank Jr. is his own man, and the fight goes ahead.
I'm sure you've seen the videos of Junior going to events, eating KFC. He's put another video up today. I think he's eating profiteroles, dipping them in chocolate. Is that just him with mind games at the forefront of what he's trying to achieve there, or is he actually trying to suggest it won't be as difficult as many people think for him to get down to 157?
I don't know. I'm not getting involved with either. I'm too conflicted. I don't know anything about weights. I don't know anything about how people's training's going. But I think it's all part and parcel of a bit of a game, like we saw in that first press conference, and a bit of a mental battle. And you can read into what you want across social media, but it's all a bit of fun, I think, in my opinion.
Doing very well to stay neutral here, Frank. Moving away from the fight, though, another big talking point in the past day or so has been the Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua negotiations. Saw 258 tweet out they've accepted all terms put to them. Just kind of get your understanding as to where things currently stand.
Yeah, as Eddie said, we met George Warren on Friday in London, got everything together, and now we're waiting for a contract. So let's see how things play out. AJ. One thing you can't say about AJ is that he's scared of taking a test, because after coming off the back of 2 Usyk fights, to get straight back in there with not much time out the ring as well. He's shown that he's still got a lot of hunger in this sport, and I believe he can go in there. A lot of people will say Tyson Fury is the favourite. Yes, he probably is the favourite, but Anthony Joshua, styles make fights, and I think Anthony Joshua can go in there and stop Tyson Fury.
It's of course been a huge talking point recently as to what AJ's route should be. Maybe if he should ease himself back in, just get a win, get some confidence back, or take this fight because we may never get the chance to see it again. If AJ takes it and he's all successfully negotiated and agreed, but he loses, how much of a loss does that damage his kind of commercial value then within the sport?
Look, ultimately we always have to focus on him winning. Our job as a team is to make sure he has plans in place. Win, lose, draw, whatever happens. And I truly believe that even if AJ didn't beat Tyson Fury, he's still a massive commercial star in the sport, can still come back and do everything that we said we were going to do, can still come back and fight Dillian Whyte, can fight Deontay Wilder in massive fights that will still do huge numbers. So in my opinion, it doesn't change much at that point, but fully focused on and committed to going there and get the win against Tyson Fury.
You're obviously close to getting that fight over the line previously. Are you more confident now that it gets done?
I'm never really confident about anything until it's actually done. And I think part of it is how many times we've been back and forth talking about making this fight or other fights, and sometimes it's like the opportunity presents itself. We have to jump on it and make it happen.
Right, Frank, we'll leave that there. No, well, we won't, because obviously just got one more final one. Lee Wood, Maurizio Lara is now off. Obviously, a shame. It was a fight which many people were looking forward to. Just get your kind of thoughts on seeing that one fall through, but Lee having to pull that through injury. Yeah,
look, massive shame. That fight was selling really well. It was a massive fight that a lot of people are excited about. Glad that we could keep the rest of the card on and the rest of the undercard on, because that's important. Fighters have trained for a long time, and we'll work on what happens next. There's lots going on in the background, so I think we'll have to see when Lee's ready to get back in the ring, so waiting for an update on that. Maurizio Lara will then be able to make a plan on what happens there, and then a big 2023. But it's a real shame, because it was a show a lot of people were excited for.
Would you expect Wood-Lara to still take place when Lee's fit and ready to go?
It just depends on time frames really as well. It depends how long Lee's out the ring for. It depends other things. You've obviously got the Leo Santa Cruz piece as well. So let's see how it plays out. It's all happened all very fresh, and the key for us was keeping the card on, and that was what we did.
Well, Frank, I appreciate your time as always. Thanks for speaking to me in ID Boxing.
Cheers, mate.